It's time for Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now let's have some fun. Here is your host, Johnny Radio.
Yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder's in the house, and the world's completely gone a little bit crazy. If you hadn't been paying attention, aliens are real. UFOs, we got those junts. And Colorado's bouncing, saying, peace, Pac-12. We heading over to the Big 12,
It's like an
baby.
IQ test is find out which one of these isn't like the other one. And those you just gave to us.
But, man, Deion Sanders and the Colorado to Buffalo, man, they heading to the Big 12. And I got to say, man, it's the last year. This is the swan song for the Pac-12 because Colorado's just the first domino to drop. Right now, Oregon's over in the Pac-12 with their head on a swivel. They're, like, looking at the Big 10. They're looking at the Big 12. They're, like, saying, where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? We got all this money. We got some dope uniforms. Beavers, everybody wants a little beaver. Oregon State's probably got their head on a swivel. Everybody in the Pac-12's got their head on a swivel.
Did you say Bieber?
Beavers.
Oh, I thought you said Bieber, like Justin.
Washington, man. And by the way, think about this. The swan song for the Pac-12 is actually, it's going to be a hell of a year for the Pac-12 on the football field. You got Caleb Williams and USC. Lincoln Riley's doing business. But, they bounce it for the Big Ten next year. Oh, Michael Penix Jr. in Washington. Dude, Michael Penix Jr., real deal Holyfield. He's going to come out swinging this year. Pac-12 is actually going to have a good product on the field. But George Kliavkoff, whatever. He just doesn't know anything. Man has no media deal. And remember what he was saying at the Pac-12 Media Days just last Friday? The longer we wait, the better, the better our position is for negotiation. I don't know if you know this. Losing USC, losing UCLA, losing Colorado. We're just watching the Pac-12 right now crumble before our eyes. So enjoy it this year. And again, it'll be fun on the football field. They're going to have some pretty decent teams this year. So, see ya. Big 12's doing pretty good, aren't they?
It seems like it, doesn't it?
Snatching up, man. I know they lost Texas and Oklahoma to the King, the SEC. But Big 12 is making moves over there. They're doing their thing. Also, we're in a crazy world. Artie Moreno's not going to get rid of Shohei.
No, he's not. In fact, he's buying pitchers instead, which also goes back to what we talked about yesterday. What good does a guy that only gives up 1 or 2 runs in 6 or 7 innings do you if you aren't scoring any runs? So if you're going to buy, why are you buying pitchers? I don't understand why you're buying pitchers if you're the Angels.
It's a very good point, but the thing is they're equally bad in both departments,
well, that's
which is
true
kind
too,
of
John.
funny. Outside of Shohei, they don't have a pitcher. Outside of right now Shohei, they don't have any good hitters. Mike Trout's injured. I know he's coming back, and the thing is I was listening to quote the experts talk this morning because I love me a little MLB Network in the morning. What's that girl's name with the amazing legs?
I don't know.
They dress her very nicely every
Mark
single
DeRosa.
day. No, it's not Mark DeRosa. It's like a Lauren or something. Anyway, point is.
Mark DeRosa isn't the lady with the great legs?
No. I just got sidetracked.
I could have sworn it was Mark DeRosa.
I was just looking at him a minute ago before I came up to work going, man. But anyway, point is, they've won 6 of their last 7. So the experts are like, well, you can't sell. You can't be the person that, got rid of Shohei Ohtani, and you're right there. You're cruising. Mike Trout's coming back. You've beaten the Pirates and the Yankees. Those are the 6 of the last 7 games.
The Yankees at home, by the way, too, which is very different than the Yankees on the road.
And by the way, let's be real. Yankees haven't been playing good baseball. They're last over in the AL East.
Yeah, and especially on the road, too. They're literally terrible on the road. They're a way different baseball team when they play away from Yankee Stadium.
So I think it's just absolutely wild right now. I mean, this Yankees team is 5-5 in their last 10. on the road. I don't know what the record is on the road. You know what it is?
No, I don't have it pulled up, but it's not good. You can rest assured. And even if it is good, then that's skewed late because they have been awful as of late on the road.
And we're going to come back and visit baseball. We're going to talk about the Big 12 even more. I'm just hitting a few headlines right now at the beginning.
Hitting the headlines like
just
aliens exist.
Just kind of slap. Dude, that's one of the if that's not the first story of the day.
The Yankees are 22-24 on the road, but as of late, that's got to be way worse. So they must have been winning games early. It's way worse as of late. I guarantee it.
I'm with you on that one. But yeah, not only do we have a lot of baseball to talk to, I got to also say, like, what's up with the Braves? You know, yesterday I got that big dub, right?
Big dub.
Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Big dub.
Big dub.
But you know what? That big dub still doesn't do anything. We do have day baseball, by the way. I forgot to tell everybody. 12:10, we have the Angels and the Tigers. We got a 3:40 game.
Yeah, another Angels and Tigers game.
I'm just saying, like, you don't. Oh, so you're just not into baseball no more?
No. Who said I wasn't into baseball?
All right. Yeah, you're always gambling.
We have one day game.
Yeah, we have one day game, but it's better than none. See, you got to be half full.
That's true. That's true.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get our bets together. Don't forget, we have Isaac Simpson today. It is a Thirsty Thursday. You know we're talking Ole Miss sports with Evie Van Pelt at noon.
Ole Miss Evie.
We got great Hardwood. Again, there's aliens. There's Did you know? Did you watch any of the Shark Week stuff, brother?
No. Yeah. Did you watch Shark Week?
I watched I got cable, man. I got it yesterday.
So you turned on Shark Week?
It's been a week since I've been able to see a television.
So yeah, turn on Shark Week then.
I caught just one story. Cocaine sharks. Have you heard about this?
I sure have.
Bro, can I just tell y'all something? What is going on? We had Cocaine Bear this year.
Well, but that was a movie based on something that happened a while ago.
But it's still, if that's the only bear doing blow out there, I just don't believe it.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, if you listen to the marine biologist, if you watch this story on Shark Week,
you did,
like me, you know that down in, you wouldn't believe how much. You know, there's a lot of drug runners heading from I don't know where they coming from. But they're like in these speedboats heading to Miami and heading into these little joints, and the police are trying to get them. They got helicopters, and you see them.
Colombia.
You see them throwing hundreds upon hundreds of pounds, just big old giant barrels of cocaine in the ocean, and they're everywhere. By the way, they just Did you notice? I went and Googled it. Just to look after we were talking about the cocaine sharks, and I'm about to get to that. I was going to save this for Hardwood, but I think this is just too good to
you're teasing it. Got to tease it.
Man, nah, man, because if you want to know what a cocaine shark is, wouldn't you be agitated if you had to go back to work? This is too good. I got plenty of Hardwood stories. Just going to give you a little brief synopsis of the cocaine sharks.
All right.
So there's a massive amount of cocaine that comes from somewhere in the ocean.
I'm going to guess Colombia.
Isn't that too far of a cigar boat drive? To get down to Florida?
Is it?
I mean, I would think so. You probably take that stuff into Cuba, Puerto Rico maybe, and then you try to get it up into Florida. I don't know. They're not the point. The drug runners are not the point.
Right, not the point.
But every day they're dumping hundreds of pounds of blow into the ocean when they get caught, when the police try to come get them. And now the sharks know exactly what these barrels are, and then they go up there and they bite them and they start snorting coke. It's crazy.
I think they just eat it. I don't think they. I don't think they have the capabilities of this is how I consume this drug.
It looks like the hammerhead was taking huge.
Oh, is that what it looks like?
I'm sorry, it really did.
Is that what it looks like?
I thought so. When they showed that video, I was like, dude, that dude is going to town on that yay. So yeah, man. I wonder if this makes them a little more aggressive. Maybe that's why sharks are eating more people because they're all jacked up on yay.
Yeah, you know what, John? Could be.
I'm serious. This is something people need to start looking into. And it's crazy how much coke they be dumping in the ocean. Now,
be more careful about where you dump your coke.
I mean, have a little respect for our marine peeps.
I mean, look, I get it. You know, I never knock another man's hustle because you don't know another man's situation. So I'm not knocking the hustle, John. But you should care about the ocean, for goodness sakes,
man. Seriously, if you're gonna dump in the ocean, you got to be able to do it better. Having it all wrapped up where coke, sharks can go and just eat it on top of the water is not a good way of doing it. And plus, the cops can pull it to shore if they have the time and be like, yo, look, we just got a barrel of coke.
Exactly.
Now.
And we're on the same page now. I like that.
Now, we've talked a little bit of Major League Baseball. I'm going to jump on the Braves today who keep losing. They're a bunch of losers lately. 3-7 in their last 10. Not looking very good. Still the odds-on favorite to win the World Series this
best
year.
team in baseball. That bullpen's a little bit scary down the back end, but that's what the trade deadline is for,
Man,
right, John?
I gotta. You know what? You just got me on this. I was thinking about a great trade.
And the Red Sox win some crazy games at home. I think partially because of park dimensions. They do have good lineup too. The Red Sox win some wonky games at home.
Yeah, but the Braves have just been bad since the break. So I got a great little stat, man. You ready for this one?
Stat me, John.
I'm gonna stat you. So in this last 10 where they've been struggling their tail off, okay? They've scored 3 or fewer runs in 3 of their last 5 and 7 of their last 10, okay?
Okay.
Before that, they scored more than 3 runs in 24 of its previous 26 games, again, before this 10-game stretch. They're just not hitting the baseball the way they are, plus their pitching, their bullpen, yada, yada, yada. Got to ask a question for Braves fans out there. Hit me at 901-360-8255 if you do this. Would you trade right now Michael Harris on the most team-friendly deal in the world that would be very, very appealing to another team, to like the San Diego Padres, for Blake Snell and Josh Hader? You get a starter because you have a ton of injuries this year in pitching, and you also finally will have a closer that you can trust and help that bullpen out.
Well, that's the thing is
I love Michael Harris, but if you want to win right now, you got to shore up that bullpen, and you need another starter.
That's the thing, though, John, is I don't know if I can trust Josh Hader over the past year and a half. I mean, very up and down.
Yeah.
And then in terms of Blake Snell, you're right. Blake Snell arguably has been the Padres' best pitcher. Everyone's saying Joe Musgrove might be the Cy Young. Blake Snell has been better than Joe Musgrove over the last 2 months. But why would the Padres get rid of Blake Snell? Because he's their only chance at making that run.
But right now, you got to realize Blake and Hader are coming up on being able to go back into free agency.
So you're saying both teams.
You give the Padres a player that could be center field for the next 6 years, and he's locked up on a very team-friendly deal.
I see.
And then you don't have to pay the bank for Josh Hader. You might not even do it again. And
How
Blake
good is
Snell
Michael
is
Harris
getting
gonna
old.
be,
And
though?
Blake is getting old. Remember how much I couldn't stand Blake at the beginning of the year?
He's been real good, though,
He's been really good. I'm spitting balling things out there.
Here's another thing, John, is how good is Michael
Harris
going
has
to
been
be?
so inconsistent this year,
But
though.
how
You're
good
trying
is
to win.
Year 2, though, John, how good is this guy going to be? I mean, he very well could be one of the best outfielders in baseball.
If you can't tell, if I was a GM, I'm a go for it kind of guy.
You go
If
for
you're
it.
in-
Let's
I am.
let's go for it.
Look, I can't.
Will you not regret seeing him be great on another team for the next, let's say, 5, 6, 7 years or whatever?
Yeah, but I can remember. I can roll.
But
back
you'll have that
Acuna.
ring to
I
look
can
at.
still put Acuna right back in center field.
Yeah.
You know, I can find me a very productive right fielder.
Yeah.
I mean, Eddie's there. Hell, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, I like the way you're thinking, John.
I'm just thinking. I'm spitballing all kinds of things.
Just spitballing a little bit.
And do you actually believe? Do you think Artie Moreno's actually come out there and said Shohei's off the block, maybe to get better? Like somebody to come out there and say, "Okay, I'm not just coming off some minor league talent. Here's a stud." You think he's trying to drive up the price, or do you think they're literally going for it? I mean, signing Giolito and trading a few peeps, man, and I can't believe. I mean, the White Sox, it's interesting. I mean, they didn't really get anything back.
No.
The Angels didn't have much to give.
No.
Look at that club. And
they're still putting a AAA lineup out there. Now Lucas Giolito is going to be pitching in front of it. I mean,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't get it.
Now, speaking of, by the way, talking about Ohtani a little bit, remember Ohtani pitches today at noon. Did you know he's on the bump today?
Oh, yeah, no, that's right. And he wasn't scheduled for yesterday. So it was supposed to be Patrick Sandoval against Michael Lorenzen. They split up those starts.
Lorenzen's pitching today, too.
Yeah, so it's Lorenzen against Ohtani, and then Sandoval is going against Matt Manning, who's actually
at
been really
340,
good.
which is like a quick, they're going to be a quick turnaround. We got 2 games today.
Yeah.
I do like
I like a lot more on the second game than I do the first game, but I got a few plays on this first game as well.
All right. Well, by the way, since we do have Isaac Simpson,
And we got a lot of plays on this Cubs-Cardinals game as well.
Since I got to make an executive decision, the game starts at 12:10 today. We have Isaac Simpson. We got a lot to talk about with Isaac on the other side. So I think right now, I think we need to go ahead, dip our toe in the water. What are you thinking about that first game, Angels-Tigers?
All right, John. So Ohtani has a 7.71 ERA in July.
Hold on. What?
Ohtani has a 7.71 ERA in the month of July. Now, he strikes out a lot of batters, but he's been giving up runs. John, he's given up 4 runs through 5 in every start in the month of July. Going back to June, it hasn't been as bad, but a 3.26 in June, still giving up runs. Michael Lorenzen will shove against you if you can't hit. So, based on that logic right there,
taking the Angels plus the 140?
No, I can't bet against Ohtani. I can't bet against Ohtani. He just strikes out too many batters. I'm going to take a shot on this one and say Michael Lorenzen, because he's up and down, I'm going to be willing to bet he gives up enough, and we're going to take over 4.5 runs at even money. I also think let's take a shot and kind of counter that one. How about a Nerfy minus 130?
These are two terrible hitting teams.
Correct.
Terrible.
Correct. But Ohtani will give up the big fly. He loves that fastball, you know.
Yeah. But the problem is
4.5 is not a lot of runs either, John. I mean, that's a
Riley
low.
Green ain't a home run hitter. Miguel Cabrera, the dude who was that dude, ain't walking through that door anymore.
But the Tigers will have a game where they just score a bunch of runs, too. They're up and down. And a lot of teams that don't hit the ball well generally, like that are up and down, they show up for Ohtani games. People like to hit against Ohtani. And you'd be hard-pressed to find another situation where you get 4.5 at plus money like that. I'm going to take even money over 4.5 runs. And this, just to counter it a little bit, I'll take a Nerfy at minus 130. You know what I mean? So if they score a run in the first inning, I feel a lot better about that over 4.5. And if they don't, we won money on it.
Kind of like that. I'm in. I'm going to ride with you.
And that's all I got in that.
I'm riding with you. By the way, also NFL news. Do you know who's going to see remember Aaron Rodgers yesterday restructured his deal?
A-Rod
took a hell of a pay cut.
Sure did.
Guaranteed himself for 2 years with the New York Jets. Now I feel like I understand why he took that huge pay cut, because Dalvin Cook is visiting the New York Jets today. I mean, are they going to go out there and get D. Cook, man? This Jets team's trying to go for it, aren't they?
Getting better and better. The more players they get, though, it scares me more, because super teams never work in the NFL.
Like the Eagles that year.
Oh, the Eagles that year, where they touted 2 quarterbacks. You can't play both of them. They had Vince Young and Mike Vick.
Mike Vick, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't play 2 of them. That's just
can't play both.
We're going to figure that out also with the great quarterback room down in Oxford. Can't play both. Well, I guess you can rotate them back in. And remember back in the day when it was what was the Noah Brandeis, I believe, at Florida, and I think it was Shane Matthews that kept, or maybe it was which one? Man, look that up. Was it Palmer or was it Matthews with the Brandeis in and out with each play?
I remember. No, well, I can even go more. I'll look it up, but I can go even more recent, John, to where John Brantley was splitting time with Trey Burton and Jordan Reed, 2 players that did not play quarterback in the NFL. Trey Burton was like a fullback tight end. Jordan Reed was a career tight end. Split time with John Brantley, 3 quarterback system at Florida one year. How about that?
Dead gummit. I was off. It was I think it was, what's the little guy with the it was Rob Johnson. Is that his name? With the hair?
The guy with the hair.
Man, he played with Buffalo Bills for a while. Doug Johnson. Doug Johnson and Noah Brandeis.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo
Man,
Bills.
It took me a while to get there. That was a long time ago. That was like late 90s.
Is that right?
The fact that my brain can go back to the late 90s is pretty impressive.
God bless you, John.
Yeah. You don't remember, but they actually rotated every play and come in with call to play. Steve Spurrier was a wild man back in the day. But we got a little day baseball coming up. On the other side, it is time for me to talk with Isaac Simpson. Now, it is Thursday. The weekend is upon us. You need to get ready to go out and party this weekend. Head on down to Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road. They're down in Olive Branch. Going down there, they got the largest boot showroom in the world, a men's department, a ladies' boutique, a children's department. They got you dressed from head to toe. If you can't get down to Olive Branch, 5880 Goodman Road, down in Olive Branch, you can go to frontierwesternstore.com online. Very easy to navigate. You can shop by sales. You can shop by brand, men's, women's, kids. Bing, bang, boom. Put in your order. They ship it out within 24 hours. Frontier Western Store and frontierwesternstore.com. Isaac Simpson on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The first name in Memphis Italian food, it's Ronnie Grizzani's in Regalia. Lunch, the Italian favorites with crisp, cold Miss Mary salad, lobster tower, fried green tomatoes, the crab stack, Monday through Saturday for lunch. Ronnie Grizzani's Catering, check out the lunch catering guide at ronniegrizzani.com, the Elfo special. Salad, Italian bread for $14 per person. Ronnie Grizzani's, they'll bring it to you. 901-850-0191. Pick up a pan of lasagna at Ronnie Grizzani's at Regalia or check out the bulk menu at ronniegrizzani.com. Get your favorites at home. Chicken Alfredo, ravioli, Italian spinach, curbside pickup, delivery to your door. Free within 4 miles of Regalia. The bar, stay cool with the cocktail list. Steaks, the 8-ounce gorgonzola and bacon wrap filet. Try it, thank me later. In High Point Grocery, Super Low in Spotswood and Goodman Road, and Buster's Liquors. Make lunch or dinner easy at Ronnie Grizzani's, a Memphis tradition since 1909.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Sportage P718, 2870, MSRP 28185. Seltos R752, 4361, MSRP 26015. Forte PG 211771, MSRP 21910. Includes all rebates and incentives plus finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear things are heating up over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
It's the hottest pricing we've ever had, Randy. 2023 Kia Forte gets 41 MPG highway at only $259 a month. $27.99 due at signing. And a 2023 Sportage vacation ready at $308 a month. $34.99 due at signing. Both 36-month lease.
And how about the new 2024 Seltos LX?
$295 a month with $29.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
The FedEx St. Jude Championship returns to TPC Southwind, August 9th through the 13th. Don't miss your chance to witness the top 70 players from the PGA Tour season battle it out in the first event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Only 50 players will make it through Memphis. Don't miss your chance to watch the drama unfold. Daily grounds and upgraded ticket options are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
All the wisdom of the universe is in these bones.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder's always with me. We're going to talk now because it's a Thursday with Isaac Simpson. We're going to talk a lot of Tigers, going to talk a little this, going to talk a little that, and we're going to talk Tiger football, believe it or not. I mean, hey, Tiger football, a lot of news right now. First and foremost, though, what's up, Isaac? How's life?
Man, I'm doing well. Man, on this Thursday. How you doing, John?
Man, I'm doing good. I almost got moved into my crib. I got cable yesterday. My life is starting to get normal again. I'm very grateful for that because moving is a pain in the butt.
Man, who you telling, man? I hate it, man, having to wait, get cable hooked up, internet, man. It's always a pain, man. So I don't envy you, man. Glad you're back in a situation where you're almost set up, man, because I know how that is, man, waiting on all that stuff to work itself out, man. So it is definitely crazy moving, man. I don't suggest it unless you have to.
And the weird thing is, by the way, because I have what is it, Xfinity or Comcast, whatever their name is. Why is it that every time they send out somebody who's like a real young kid who has no clue what he's doing?
Exactly. Every single time. Every time I've ever moved, it happens every time.
And then he's like spends 3 hours at your crib. He's like,
I can't. Somebody else out.
And then the next day you have to have somebody else come out. And I'm like, man, why y'all do that every time? But anyway, I got to get to the big news right now. The Big 12. A lot of people in the Mid-South are talking about finances. Of course, the Grizzlies, Simmons Bank, Liberty Bowl Stadium. Like they're talking about their finances. Oh, we got to get in the Big 12. Oh, the only 12 you should care about is Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. So there's been a lot of talk about that. But then all of a sudden we have a little, some thrown in the ringer. You got Colorado who gets joined by the Big 12. How do you think this affects the University of Memphis?
Yeah, it's not good, man. It hasn't been a good week as far as if you're viewed it through the prism of whether the Tigers are going to get into a Power 5, the Big 12. Not good news with the news coming out about possibly the Grizzlies getting the bulk of that money that Tennessee that Memphis got from the state. And now you got the Colorado news. You were just hoping Memphis was kind of a plan B if some things fell through with what the Big 12 is trying to do, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case at all. So it looks like you're going to be out in the cold again, man. It just is perplexing to me because I know the passion for that program in this city. I know what they've done. I mean, they've put money into the football program. You look at the beautiful Lloyd Walton facility over there. You're talking about playing in the NBA arena, in the locker rooms, all the stuff that they have over there. I mean, everything's in place. The indoor practice facility is there. I mean, they have all the facilities. The passion is there. It just doesn't seem like it's enough. And you look at some of these other schools, and you just kind of hate how a lot of these schools are grandfathered in, and they've been in these conferences for years. And you compare those programs to Memphis, and you're like, man, Memphis is light years above these programs, and they just can't seem to get into the party, man. It's kind of deflating as a fan and someone that covers their program, man. Because I feel like they made tremendous strides, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. And I think Colorado going into the Big 12, I think
First
that's
shoe to drop.
Kind of a big time blow to your hopes of trying to get into this thing.
And the thing that I just keep kind of wondering back to, is it the size of the market? Is it the fact that, Memphis is right here on the corner of Arkansas and Mississippi and, over here in the very corner of Tennessee, basically like the tri-state area. And you got people who love, Oxford and Ole Miss. You got, this is SEC country, Arkansas, et cetera. Like, what is it about Memphis that always kind of maybe just looks past?
And to me, that you made a great point there. It seems like to me that would be intriguing to them because it gets them into that market. If people know that this area is football starved, I mean, they love college football in this area, man. If you could get a footprint inside of what you would call SEC country, I would think that would be something that would be interesting to them. But it does. People say it goes back to market size, and there's not a lot that you can do about that. I mean, Memphis is not going to get any bigger. I don't see a Nashville type growth coming here anytime soon. So it kind of is what it is as far as that market size, and I don't think there's a lot that you can do to change that. Like I said, I think the university is kind of pretty much over these last several years. They haven't always done it, but over these last several years, I think they've done everything and even more to kind of position themselves to be ready when an opportunity presents itself, and it just doesn't seem like the opportunity is coming. And now we talk about the improvements that they want to make to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Doesn't look like they're going to get the amount of money they need for that either. And that's a interesting situation. A lot of Tiger fans is like, here we go again, choosing basketball over football. But I mean, you have to look at the situation like this. I mean, the Grizzlies are your professional sports team. It's the city's professional sports team, and FedEx Forum is the premier entertainment venue in this city. So they're going to come first. I mean, it just is what it is. And the hope that I would wish is on-campus stadium. I don't think it's happening, but I think that would be the best position because the city runs the Liberty Bowl, and the donors are not going to want to put money into that because it's run by the city. It's not owned by the university. So you're putting money into something that's owned by the city, and that kind of makes things tricky with that. So, man, looks like you're not going to get in the Big 12 this round, and it seems like you're not going to get the improvements to the stadium possibly that you want to do, man. It's just not a good week, man, for as far as Memphis getting into a Power 5, man. I'm sure Tiger fans are not very happy right now, and it's just tough to see you time and time again, man, get passed over.
Yeah, it really is, and it's got to be disheartening. It's been a rough week when it comes to football, and not only was it rough when you talk about the finances for Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, not just rough about, the first shoe feels like it just dropped in the Pac-12, and which I think is going to be a great swan song for the Pac-12. Again, you got Michael Penix Jr. up in Washington. Man. You got Caleb Williams at USC. Their last year is at least going to be a good year because we're watching this thing fall apart.
Man, how the mighty have fallen, man. They're just in the dumpster right now, man, how that thing's falling apart. But, yeah, this will be their final year, man. But after that, man, it's going to be a mess with the Pac-12, man, to see how that thing plays out. Because they don't even have a television deal
nope.
right now. So I don't know what's going to become of that, man. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But, man, they've really, really fallen off the cliff here over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's absolutely. To be honest with you, it's one of the craziest things that I've ever seen. To be honest with you, now, sad news for also Memphis when it came to AAC Media Days, and I mean it's the media voting on these things. These are just preseason polls. They really don't mean anything. But for a Tiger fan, it is disheartening. I don't know if you know this, but Cincinnati, Houston, Central Florida, they bounced. And the Tigers are still picked to be fourth this year in football.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was expected. I think it's still kind of depressing to think about, but it was expected that they would finish behind Tulane and UTSA. I think the only kind of mystery was who would be third and who would be fourth between them and SMU. Unfortunately, they came in on the bottom side of that with fourth. I think anything less than 9 wins, I think, is a big-time disappointment for this team. If they're not competing for AAC championship throughout this entire season, I think that's a bad sign. And the thing about it is you really don't want them to be in the middle. You either want things to go great or you want things to go bad because it's a situation where if they finish, say they win 7 games, 8 games, 6 games, they're probably – and I want to preface this and say I'm a big fan of Ryan Silverfield. When he was up for the job, I was pushing for him to get that job. I like the idea that a lot of the players wanted him to get the job, the continuity, everything that it brought. He knew the system, had been here. I wanted him to get the job, but just being honest, man, he just hasn't gotten it done. And I think this is put up a shut-up time. But the thing about it is, again, like I said, if they finish with 7 wins, 8 wins, 6 wins, I don't think they fire him. And it doesn't affirm anything because it doesn't show, okay, where the program is moving in the right direction. It also doesn't show that it's moving in the wrong direction. And you kind of, in between, you either want them to be competing for AAC championship or you want things to go south where they kind of make a decision where they have to decide, okay, well, we got to go in a different direction. And that's the interesting thing for the season for me. But there's no reason why they shouldn't be competing at the top of this conference. I mean, you look at their schedule. They don't play UTSA at all, so you avoid them. You also get Tulane and SMU at home. they have the schedule, man, where they should be able to be right there at the top, man. If they can't win 9, I even think 10 wins should be on the table. If they can't win 9 and 10 games, man, with this conference, man, that doesn't say a lot. Even with 8 wins, I think that's a tremendous disappointment. And if they did win 7, I think for me, I think I would be looking in a different direction. I don't think that's what they would do with a 7-win season, but I think you win 7 wins with this schedule this year. I don't think that bodes well for the trajectory of the program at all.
Yeah, Memphis football and this schedule, by the way, is also one of the things that gives me a big pause and a little bit of concern because, again, the home schedule for selling tickets, it's bleak. I mean, again, and I talked about how close we are. You know, you got people who still go up to Knoxville. You got people going down to Oxford, Fayetteville. There's a lot of football around these parts. I mean, hell, Arkansas State. But right now, like that schedule is atrocious. So
yeah, you got Boise on there, but they aren't nearly the draw that they used to be. That's not the game that it would have been several years ago. I mean, you look at the schedule outside of that. I mean, you really don't. You got Tulane coming in here, I guess, and even though that's a big game, it's not. Tulane's not a name that's going to bring the casual fan out, and that's the thing. The diehards are going to be there, but you need a schedule where you're going to get walk-up and casual fans to come out to the game. And the only way that they can do that with this type of schedule, and that's going to be the interesting thing going into this newly formed AAC, is they got to win and win big. If you're winning big, they're coming. Fans are going to come out. I don't care who's on the schedule. If you're winning big, fans are going to come out. But it's even worse than it was before. It was bad enough with the AAC that we had prior. Now with this, it's going to be even worse, man. That's what I'm saying. So they gotta win games. And like I said, man, anything less than 9 wins to me, I think is a big time disappointment. I'm projecting 9-3, and I think that's where they need to be at. Outside of that, anything south of that, man, it's a bad spot. They're in a bad spot anyway. This is just not where you want to be, man. But it is what it is at this point.
Tiger basketball, though, they're gearing up to head to the DR, play a little bit of hoops action. They did have some hoops action this week, a little bit of news. Tafale Leonard Jr. will not be joining the Tigers. Who's coming to replace him?
Man, the big news that dropped just not too long ago before we dropped on here, man. Daquan Walton from Wichita State is on campus, and big-time surprise, man. I didn't expect anything to happen this early, but that's a big-time get to get him this late. Like I said, Penny, time and time again, man, just gets it done. Get a guy that's 14 points, 5 rebounds, 40% from 3. And that's one thing this team really needed, shooting. And that was something Leonard didn't bring, and Daquan Walton does bring to this roster. Like I said, 40% on 4 attempts a game last season. He's going to bring shooting and athleticism to this roster. I think it's a big-time replacement, and I think
– Do you think it actually makes the Tigers better?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a drop-off at all. I think at worst, you broke even with those two guys, and I think the offensive prowess of Walton kind of probably makes this an upgrade because they got defensive pieces all over the roster, and that's kind of what Leonard was, and they got guys that can guard. They just need more shooting and more offense, and he definitely brings that. So that's a huge pickup, man. I was really excited to see that this morning. Shout out to Jason Munns. He's the first person that dropped that news. And I think that's a big-time addition, and I think it makes this team better. So now you just wait, man, on those shoes to drop. If they get DeAndre back, like we talked about, and Brown gets eligible, I think this is – I don't know if they'll be ranked at when the rankings come out, but I think talent-wise, I think it's the top 15 team in the country and easily the best team that Penny's had in his tenure. I don't think there's any question about that.
Man, Dre drops, and it's gonna be. I think it could be one of those magical years. It'd be a great thing for Memphis. I promise you that. Now, I still got to ask you every single week, what's the Mikey Williams update?
Man, right now there's nothing on Mikey Williams. Man, I've kind of conceded a long time ago that just wasn't going to happen. And I think when they brought in Devon Quinterly, I think that was kind of the death knell of that. I mean, his court proceedings have gotten pushed back. I think it even got pushed back again. So into late August or September, I just don't see him being able to make it to campus. And honestly, just kind of some of the things that you've heard about Mike Williams, and I've said this before, some of the attitude problems that he's hard to coach, etc. I think getting Devon Quinterly, I think is better for this team. You have a veteran presence young point guards, freshman point guards usually don't have an impact unless they're like top 5
Special
type players, and he's not that. He's a top 50 type player. He was gonna take a while anyway, and I think he has this idea that he's number 1 player in the country, and that's kind of the thing that the people have said about him, the knock on him, that he thinks he's a lot better than he is just because of his celebrity. So it was going to be a headache. I mean, we kind of saw that with a money bait here and how that situation played out. I think you could have saw something very similar there. I mean, he tweeted out when Quinley signed saying that he's excited about that backcourt, and I'm scratching my head thinking, okay, well, if you do end up here, I think you're coming out the bench, because I think that starting backcourt is going to be Devon Quinley and Caleb Mills. So you could already just tell, man, even if he does end up here, which I think is extremely unlikely at this point, I just think it's too much of a headache, man. I think if I was Benny, I would have moved on a long time ago. But I think you see him continuing to recruit point guards. I think that kind of shows you what the thinking was on Mikey. They also have
what about Jalen Young?
UCF.
I was going to say, does this open the door for Jalen Young, the former Central Florida Knight? Does this open the door for him to go out there and get a lot more minutes?
Yeah, man, and I've said this on here before, man. I'm excited about him. I think he's going to surprise some people. I think he's a kid that's going to be here for multiple years, obviously, and I think he could take over the starting point guard spot next year. But I think off the bench, he's going to be a big piece. I think he's a lot better than what he showed. Didn't get a lot of playing time at UCF. I think given an opportunity, a lot of people compare him to a young Jeremiah Martin, just kind of the way he plays, the size, some of the things he does out there, man. He's a guy that can put the ball in the basket. I'm excited about him, and I think he's been slept on a little bit. I think he's going to surprise some people this year.
Man, I kind of think he is too. He was a little interesting player down at as when he was a little Knight at Central Florida. UCF, University of Central Florida Knights. Now, one other thing. What do you expect? What are you going to learn from the trip down to DR? Anything?
Yeah, I don't think anybody should put a lot of stock in it. We've kind of seen these things before, and you watch these, you see some of these guys that maybe not expect to do as much go down there and have big time games. You're thinking, okay, well this kid's going to be much better than we thought, and you just got to kind of look at the level of competition. They are playing the Dominican national team, which Les Quiones is actually on that team, so I'm sure that'll be fun for those guys to see him down there. But I'm not going to put a lot of stock in it. I think it's more so just build camaraderie, being on the road, guys with your team. It sucks that you can't have the entire team there. They're going to be missing a lot of guys, major pieces, that you kind of hate that they didn't get the opportunity to take advantage of this. Some of your major players that you're expecting won't be there. So it's just kind of interesting to see how, what I'm looking at is what lineups Penny uses, who plays, who gets the major minutes. But I think Javon Quinley is in town. He's supposed to be there. Daquan Walton will be there. I think Jalen Young is scheduled to be there as well. So I think it's more about building team chemistry and everything like that with the guys that you do have versus just putting a lot of stock in what you see out on the basketball floor.
All right, Isaac, I know there's a lot of football news going on out there. You're a big Cowboy guy. What's going on with your Cowboys? How's Dak going to do this year?
Man, I'm feeling good. I think they had the opportunity to have the best defense in the NFL. And I think the offense is an offense that can really put points on the board. I think they've improved bringing in Brandon Cooks. Also got some guys healthy. Hopefully Tony Pollard. And I'm still kind of concerned about that. I personally still don't think he's an every down back. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there. Leonard Fournette still out there. Even Zeke's still out there.
I was going to say Zeke's still out there, which is interesting.
I still think you should bring in another guy that can kind of get some of those tough yards. I just feel like running Tony, it's not that I don't think he can handle it. I just think there's a possibility he could get hurt. I mean, he's coming out that injury, and he's a smaller back. And you hand the ball off to him 20 times a game. I just don't know if that's the best use for him, because I think he's going to wear down.
17-game season, man.
Effective. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting, man, to see how that plays out, man. I'm a big TP fan, man. I just want him fresh and being able to go out there and do what he does. And if you're handing the ball off as a bell cow back, I just think that's going to make him, render him less effective late in games. I think he's going to wear down.
Do me a favor, Isaac. Everybody knows you're at IsaacW_NBA. You got the at Ethos Grizzlies, also the Ethos Grizzlies podcast. Tell me what you're working on.
Yeah, man. Like you said, man, eat those Grizzlies. Check myself out, David Williams, Candace Hagan, TigerSportsReport.com. And as you said, man, Isaac _NBA.
Be blessed. We'll do it again next Thursday, my friend.
We'll do, man. Talk to you next week.
That is Isaac Simpson. We got one more little segment. We got to talk about a little NFL news on the other side. We have our MLB bet. Don't forget, Jay, what is our MLB bets today? We're going over 4.5 in the first 5.
Mm-hmm.
And we were taking the Angels.
No.
What was it?
Nerfy.
The Nerfy. That's right. Thank you. I got to put that in during the break. Don't you dare touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
Did you know a percentage of accidents are because people are texting and driving at the same time? If you've been hit by a driver texting and not paying attention to the road, call the law offices of Arthur Horn III. You probably know them for their big cases, but they know your case is big too. Let them represent you. Join the winning team at the law offices of Arthur Horn III. Call today, Arthur Horn III, 901-331-1816. That's 901-331-1816. And please, don't text and drive.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Hi, folks. You don't have to drive an ugly car to get good mileage at a low price. Sunrise Chevy has 10 models that get 30 miles per gallon. Choose from Chevy Camaros, Corvettes, Blazers, Silverados, and the all-new 23 Colorado. Right now, Sunrise Chevy has hundreds of new cars and trucks available and in stock, ready for immediate delivery. And Sunrise has financing for everyone, regardless of past credit. A huge selection of used cars and trucks starting at $99.95. Come on, man. Don't be that guy driving a nasty car. Find new roads in the car of your dreams at Sunrise Chevy, 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, hanging out with Jay Morgan today. It's a thirsty Thursday. We talked with Isaac Simpson on the other side. We talked all things Mr. Walton. See you, Mr. Leonard. Team's a little bit better. What's up, Jalen Young? We got a lot of good things to be happy about when it comes to the Memphis Tigers. Football, not so much. Picked fourth in the AAC. Finances don't look like they're going to the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, and Colorado is headed to the Big 12, and it's going to be the Swan Song. A lot of good stuff going on. Now, we also have camp going on around the National Football League. All kinds of great stories from camp. If you haven't been paying attention, the Jets are going for it, man. Like, they are going for it. My man Aaron Rodgers goes out there, takes a pay cut. They're talking with Dalvin Cook today. I feel like that's just massive, to be honest with you. So, little interesting things going on at training camp. By the way, Jay Morgan, have you seen any futures bets that you like? I know you're the futures guy. Are you even looking?
No, not really.
Just stuck on the baseball right now?
Yeah.
Nice. Stuck on the baseball. Well, we do have a little bit of baseball today. We got a little 12-10 game. You got about 14 minutes if you want to do it. We're going Nerfy. We just need 6 outs in the first. Shohei's on the bump with the Angels. Lorenzen for Detroit. 2 soft hitting clubs, very flaccid when it comes to using the sticks. We're going Nerfy, baby. 6 outs. I didn't ride with you on the 4.5, Jay.
That's all right.
Because I'm going Nerfy, you know? I don't want any runs in the first. That only gives me 4 runs to get over the 4.5. What if Shohei comes out and deals because he likes pitching in the afternoon?
That's right.
Could happen.
It could.
And the Angels don't score a lot of runs.
They don't. But
I wish you luck. We just need that Nerfy action. A few more games today we have to bet on. Plus, we got crazy hardwood stories at 12:30. But on the other side, it's time to talk with Evie Van Pelt from the Rebel Walk. It's going to be Ole Miss on a thirsty Thursday. And you know who gives it to you? That'd be Tito's. When life hands you lemons, don't freak out, don't fret, don't stress. Just make a lemon drop. Make sure it's with Tito's handmade vodka. It's crafted and distilled right here in the United States, down in Austin, Texas. Don't forget it's 100% gluten-free because it's a corn-based vodka. It's all corn, man. But it's 6 times distilled and then stilled in classic copper pots, giving it a very unique flavor, slightly sweet with a black pepper note, balancing everything out. Whether you're crafting a cocktail or you're drinking it neat. Get your Tito's on today. Evie Van Pelt next. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
And if the band you're in starts playing different tunes, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
Are you ready to conquer the great outdoors? Come in today and gear up with the dependable Suzuki King Quad ATV because there's no rest for the rugged. Its unparalleled combination of power, versatility, and reliability allow you to tackle the toughest terrains with ease. And right now, there are lots of ways to help you hit the trail, including low APR financing and low monthly payments for qualified buyers, discounts for the military and first responders, and more. Roll into Olive Branch Motorsports in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and experience the Suzuki King Quad ATV's unmatched capabilities today.
Jim's Place Grill, over 100 years of charcoal grill steaks, over 100 years of celebrations, family time, and lasting memories. The Terrace family with their touch for our community. Recipes that date back to the beginning in downtown to now in Collierville at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee. Online at jimsplacegrill.com. Don't forget the E in grill. Every steak grilled perfectly over an open flame. Come to Jim's Place and taste and see the difference. Lunch hours Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dinner hours Monday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Since 1921, a Memphis landmark, hard work, values, and a dedication to their diners, the Terrace family creates a memorable dining experience. Lunch menu, the staples like the souffle ma, shrimp cocktail, crab cakes, and those salad dressings, all homemade. Dinner, the calamari, soup, seafood, and those steaks, fillets, ribeyes, and strips. Fantastic bar area, all at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. First National Bank and Trust, with its roots in eastern Arkansas as a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, now firmly in West Tennessee. Eastern Arkansas's largest independently owned bank, now in West Tennessee. First National Bank and Trust, with offices at 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, 901-498-5763, and in Collierville. First National Bank and Trust focuses on their clients in the Mid-South with all their banking needs: personal banking, business banking, and online banking, and the mobile app. Courage and confidence has been displayed by First National Bank and Trust officers throughout its history. In good times and in challenging times, First National Bank and Trust has been recognized as one of the most progressive banking institutions in the country. Commercial, residential, recreational, customers depend on First National Bank and Trust because they know real estate. 901-498-5763 and contact Brooks Winchester or any member of the First National Bank and Trust team.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hey Mid-South, the Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event has never been hotter than right now at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. How about 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander? 7 seats, 27 MPG combined. We Gossett at $449 a month. Or get ready to take your pick from 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander or 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range, 64 combined MPGe. Get ready to ride for just $499 a month at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. And you'll always get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
20 cents excess mileage. Outlander PZ012158, MSRP 34555. Outlander SE PZ041164, MSRP 35585. PHEV PZ040302, 24-month, 12,000 miles per year, MSRP 48230. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax filing license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
I have this one little saying, when things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, hanging out with Jay Morgan on a Thirsty Thursday. Always brought to you by Tito's. And you know we're going to talk with the RebelWalk.com's very own Evie Van Pelt, founder and publisher. I'm telling you, if you love the Ole Miss Rebels, if you all about hotty toddy coming down to the SIP, check out the RebelWalk.com. Follow them on Twitter at the Rebel Walk, and don't forget to follow Evie. Follow Evie at Ole Miss Evie. Evie, how are you doing this beautiful Thursday?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm happy that Jay Morgan is back with us, and the gang's all here.
The gang is all here, and man, it's a beautiful Thursday, and this is something I wouldn't have let off with, but I also saw your article when you were talking about my man K.D. Hill, a former defensive lineman. My man won the Chucky Mullins, the Courage Award. Really good guy. He had a very unfortunate car wreck, I believe. Was it last Friday in Alabama?
Yes.
Yes,
he did.
And, you know, you wrote this story. You know all about it. Let people know how K.D. Hill's doing, what happened to him, and just I thought it was a heartwarming story that you put out there.
Well, thank you. He is, for folks who don't know, but probably most all Rebels do, he was a defensive lineman at Ole Miss. He was last season's Chucky Mullins Courage Award winner, so he wore the number 38. And a lot of people may recall it was so touching when they gave him the number 38 and told him that he had won the award. They did so at practice, and he made a phone call to his mom, and, Ole Miss, I guess, captured it on video, and it was just heartwarming, telling his mom he did it, and, that had been something he had really worked toward, and oh my gosh, he's just a wonderful, wonderful young man on and off the field, and unfortunately, he was in a car wreck last Friday, he and his brother. No fatalities, thank you, Jesus, for that. But KD ended up having to have his leg amputated at the scene below the knee. And so that's, he had just signed, I think a couple of weeks earlier, an XFL contract with the Orlando Guardians. Him and actually I was talking with former safety AJ Finley's dad, who KD and AJ were both going to be playing for Orlando. So it's, really sad that happened, but in typical KD fashion, we got the video from his Eufaula, Alabama football high school Twitter account of him walking yesterday in the hallway of the hospital and, just basically he said on the video, he has the heart of a lion. And, I think that, nobody can argue with that. So he said, this is what you do when you have the heart of a lion. You don't stop because it's bigger than you.
Man, I'll tell you one thing. That's a great read. I'm telling you. If, you want to, it kind of puts yourself in check, if you know what I mean. Like, man, you know how blessed I am. Like, if you're having a bad day and you're like, oh, I got to go do this. I haven't had cable in a couple days. Yeah, read that bad.
Or it's a little hot outside.
Yeah,
exactly. It really does. And he is inspirational. I mean, he is known for his very strong faith. We did an interview with his mother last September after he found out he was the Chucky Award winner, and just really struck by her faith, too. And we've been fortunate to get to text with her some throughout this. Haven't wanted to pester her much, but her last text to me last night was in all capital letters, God is awesome, ! So I think that their strong faith is really helping them.
Yeah, it does, and it's an inspiration to others. Check it out again. It's at the Rebel Walk right now. Go to therebelwalk.com. You can check that out. It's a great read. Now, speaking of some interesting stuff, I mean, I love Lane Kiffin. He is hilarious. He doesn't back down from anybody. I love the way he shoots from the cuff. Kind of keep people abreast of what's going on with him and all Paul Feinbaum.
Well, I tell you what, I think he took a little offense that Feinbaum seems to every now and then, go off on Saban and his legacy. That his legacy,
the dynasty's over.
The dynasty's over, and Kiffin really doesn't like that. In part, Nick Saban, I think, is his friend, and he'll always be grateful to Nick Saban for giving him a chance to kind of resurrect his career and go be the offensive coordinator at Alabama. So there's that. But I think, also just the respect he has for the man and his coaching ability, and he also doesn't need anybody motivating Nick Saban any further. He said every time you do this, Paul, then he, rebounds and he wins a national championship or something.
And he also said you really tick him off. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
thank you, Paul.
Exactly. And so their little tiff this time started at SEC Media Days after Kiffin talked about the whole NIL and portal system and how it's just kind of a disaster. And I mean, Feinbaum basically came out and said what was a disaster is how Kiffin coached in big games last year. So, I mean, shots were fired.
Yep.
And then on Tuesday, Kiffin used a quote from the NCAA president to kind of drive home his point about the disaster that all this has become. And then at the end, Kiffin makes the quote, but then he says, Feinbaum, does that not sound like a disaster in all capital letters? So crazy to point out, my bad. And then this is what got me at the very end. Hashtag angry little man. So I think that's the one that really made Ole Miss fans laugh, because I don't know that, Feinbaum is really their favorite.
All right, now I got to get into, because we talk about Spencer Sanders, we talk about Jackson Dart, we talk about my man Walker Howard. We talk about quarterbacks all the time because they are the position that everybody knows and wants to talk about, and especially down in Oxford, you got such a talented quarterback room. Everybody's wondering who's going to start, the incumbent Jackson Dart or the transfer Spencer Sanders from Oklahoma State. But I want to know a little bit about the wide receivers and what you expect from this year from them. The X, the Z, the slot. Who do you think is going to be carrying the torch this year for the Rebels wide receiving room?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that, probably I think Ole Miss fans were a little worried this week because they had not seen Zachary Franklin's name on the roster, the official online roster. Now, it's there now.
Okay.
It wasn't until yesterday afternoon, I believe. And so, I think really and truly I look for him to have a big season. But what I can tell you is I think Ole Miss knew when they got a commitment from him that he had one class that was an issue. He either needed to complete a class or there was a transfer issue or something, but they were aware of it. They've been working on it. That I think is what kept him from being off the official roster until yesterday. That is taken care of. Now, what I have heard unofficially, this has not been confirmed by anybody at Ole Miss, so, don't hold me to this, but there is some legitimate talk out there that he might need to have his knee scoped, which would maybe have him out 4 weeks. And folks are like, well, why wouldn't he have already had that done? And I think probably it comes down to literally just the logistics of you're not at UTSA anymore, but you weren't quite officially at Ole Miss. So, you want it to be under the auspices of whatever medical program, I'm sure, at what school you're going to be at. So I think that being said, if all works out, we look to see him out there on the field this season, and he's just a huge, huge part of it. Jordan Watkins is returning. I'm excited about him. Trey Harris is a transfer. Dayton Wade, I really don't sleep on my man Dayton Wade. We have an NIL with him, and I loved how he showed up in games last year when he was really needed. So Yes.
Are you a little surprised this year? Like, one thing I remember, like, when I think of Ole Miss wide receivers, of course, DK is a monster of a human being. You can go back and, you have big athletic wide receivers. This year, most of them are a little bit smaller speed guys.
Yeah, that is a little bit interesting. I think, that's one thing. They lost Chris Marshall, who they had a transfer from A&M, and then he was dismissed from the team. And so, I think he was going to be a big, one of those bigger-bodied wide receivers. But again, I think if they get Zachary in there, Trey Harris, he was also first-team conference, all-conference USA at Louisiana Tech. I think that they've got guys. You're right. They don't maybe quite look the same, but on the other hand, they got a couple of huge tight ends.
That's what I was going to say.
Trigg.
6'5" Caden Priesthorst, and
he says hi. Yeah. So absolutely.
Michael Trigg, the big boy too, about 6'3", 6'4", probably around 250 or something. Big boy. So if they're going big, yeah, you got that tight end package. And by the way, this year, Judkins, who was 1,500-yard rusher as a true freshman, of course, picked first team All-SEC. Expect a lot of big things. I'm just wondering, though, are we going to see a lot of two tight ends set this year?
I think so. I think we're going to see that 12 personnel. I tell you what, I think if Michael Trigg is as healed and ready to go as I've heard he is, we'll know more. We actually just were told today, next Wednesday, I believe, is going to be Ole Miss Media Day. So we'll get to talk to Kiffin, and then they'll have players in the grill there in the newly renovated Manning Center, and we'll get to visit with them. But absolutely,
When is that?
That's going to be next. That's going to be next Wednesday.
We'll make sure everybody is tuned in to the Rebel Walk next week because
Yes.
that's going to be a big day.
August the 2nd. So we'll get to hear. And you know what's also fun? There's really only one time a year we get to hear from the offensive and defensive coordinators, and that's at Media Day. So I'm hoping they'll make them available this year also. But we really haven't had a chance to talk to Pete Golding, and really we don't get to talk to Charlie Weiss. I mean, the coordinators and the assistant coaches are not made available throughout the season. It is one team, one voice, and that is Lane Kiffin's voice.
You know what? I kind of dig it because Lane's voice is absolutely hilarious half the time.
It is. It just, it's so funny. I tell people over and over, it's hard to understand when you cover coaches and you get so many, years of coach speak, and, not even that they're trying to give coach speak, but they're trying to, like Matt Luke was the nicest man and would never have offended anyone, and was, probably watched what he said and how he said it. And I mean, it's not that Kiffin's not a nice guy, but it's just kind of refreshing that he shoots from the hip and gets up there, like we talked last week from Media Days, and just basically gives his, economic state of the union on NIL and transfer portal and such. And I think a lot of people were surprised by that, but I think that they were, he gave a very articulate, reasoned opening statement for why he feels the way he does.
This bringing in Pete Golding this year, and I didn't realize that you only get to talk to him at the beginning of the year. So next Wednesday, that's going to be a really big day talking with Pete, because that's where I feel like most of the question marks are always around the defense. I think bringing in Pete Golding was, one of the better coaching moves in the SEC this year. Again, on the offense, you're covered. But the replacing DJ Durkin is never easy when he went down to Texas A&M. And then you get Golding from Alabama. I think that was a score. I'm just so curious about the style of defense that they're going to run, because, under Lane Kiffin, he was all excited about going to the wild defense with all the safeties and a couple linebackers and cornerbacks everywhere, making things extremely hard on the pass. But you look around the SEC, a lot of these teams, you look at Tommy Rees going to Alabama. It seems like Alabama might be going to a more pro-style set. Of course, Tennessee's going to throw the ball all over the place. But it looks like teams are kind of like, every year it's like a pendulum, it goes back and forth. Back in the day it was run heavy as all get out, and now it's pass heavy. Feels like it's kind of coming back down to the middle, and it seems like there's going to be a lot more teams running the football. How's he going to counter that?
I think that what we're seeing, and obviously I guess we'll know a lot more when practices start and we can kind of get in there and watch some more. But I think that it's going to be that defensive line. I think, kind of going more to a base defense, having a 4-man front is really going to help Ole Miss. And I think that they've kind of got the bodies to do that. Cedric Johnson, we got to speak with him. He's back at defensive end. He started 8 games in 2022, would have started more, but he had to miss due to injury. But he assures me he is 100% healthy. And we've got Jared Ivey back. Have to replace Tavius Robinson at defensive end. I was a huge, huge fan of Tavius and his game. But I just think that, we've got J.J. Pegues at defensive tackle. I think look for J.J. to have a big, 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 big season. And mark that one, book that. I'm pretty confident on that. So I just think that it's going to all start up front. And I tell you what, I know people say with Suntarine Perkins, the 5-star recruit linebacker who's an incoming freshman, it may take a little while. Even Patrick Willis wasn't Patrick Willis maybe at the very beginning. But, boy, he's one I'm really excited to see at linebacker.
And, also just looking at the schedule this year, last year, It was, I would say, a very soft schedule at the beginning of the year. Didn't know as much as you thought you would know when September ended. You're going to know a lot this year.
You're gonna know a lot by Saturday, September 9th.
After
probably
Tulane.
by about by about 7 that evening, you'll probably know because it's a 2:30 game. So I think, yeah, absolutely that one. I've heard some people say, no, maybe Tulane won't be as tough as you think. Oh, I disagree. I think their quarterback is excellent. Their coach is good. I think that one's going to be a test, on the road in New Orleans. And Georgia Tech comes after that. And I feel like I don't think the Rebels are in jeopardy of losing that game, but I think it's going to be a different Georgia Tech from what they played the year before, when Lane really even quit trying to score, because he basically said, we knew the coach was going to likely be let go. And he just, I think was just being a nice guy. But so I think we're going to know a lot before that September 23rd game against Alabama. Going to be interesting.
Yeah, and it's a little rough stretch because in 1 week from the 23rd to the 30th, it's Alabama and then LSU at the crib.
Oh man, isn't that one's going to be a party in the SIP. That one's going to be the Grove is going to be rocking for that game. And yeah, and then to be honest, it doesn't really get easier during that stretch. Arkansas at home after LSU, and man, if there's a better 1-2 punch than KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders, that's strong. And I think that one's going to be. That's going to give the defense a test. And then, of course, you head out to the Plains to play Hugh Freeze October 21st. So that little stretch there of Alabama, LSU, Arkansas, and Auburn, that's going to be that's where I think your season will be made or broken.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that's even crazy to say this, but dude, Clark Lee and Vanderbilt, that's usually the patty cake game. You're like, yeah, we got some Vanderbilt and Clark Lee. They become a little bit scary.
They have, and what about the certain number, 6, 8 media people that voted for this?
Yeah, I think me and Jay were talking about that.
To come in first. So that was not me. I did not do that. But, I thought that was something else.
And then I just can't think of anybody who has really, there's some tough schedules out there, but when you have Alabama, LSU consecutive weeks, and also followed by Arkansas, your East draw, we mentioned Vanderbilt, but the other East draw, it's Georgia.
Georgia. Oh, by the way, you get to go to Athens. So, you host A&M at home and then hit the road for Georgia. And so, yeah, absolutely. What a tough schedule. That, again, is life in the SEC. And, again, I think probably besides, the Alabama game, which I think Kiffin is always motivated and wants to win that game. I think the game against Hugh Freeze and Jimbo, I think Lane really likes beating Jimbo. So that'll be fun too.
I think he does too. It's going to be an interesting year. I'm ready to get down to the Grove and party like a rock star. Now, also got to ask you, what's going on, man? Ladies basketball is locking people up.
Yes, and they locked up Coach Yo. I'm so excited for her. She finally got her contract extension, and so that literally just happened 2 days ago. And Coach Yo, her base for 2024 is $1.035 million.
What?
And so, yes, new contract, and it goes through 2027, and in 2027 she'll be up to $1.14 million, and that is without any of the incentives. There are a ton of incentives. We've got that list on our website if people want to go and check that out. But yes, I'm so excited that she was rewarded with such a great contract, and I think I don't know that there are more than maybe 8 or 10 women basketball coaches in the country that are making $1 million or more. And I'm the first one to say she deserves it. And I'm glad. Good for Keith Carter that he sewed that up.
Man, Keith Carter's locked up the whole hoop side of everything. You got Beard, Coach Yo locked up. And again, but when you make the first Sweet 16 in 16 years, you got to lock up Coach Yo. And again, Well, who was it they beat that was so bad? Was it Stanford?
They beat number 1. Yes, number 1 seed Stanford. So you're right, and she's just got such an enthusiasm about the program. We had a little media day with them earlier this week, and got to talk with her, some of her players, some of her transfers, and they're exciting. I tell you what, keep an eye out on KK Deans. Remember that name. She's a transfer. She's a point guard. And Coach Yo told us she reminds her of herself. And so I think that that's just a fantastic compliment, and really makes me eager to see. KK transferred in from Florida. So keep an eye on her.
That's pretty awesome. Now, Evie, you know how much I love you. I love having you on every single Thursday, but my time's coming and going. You got to plug everybody and tell what's the Rebel Walk working on. I know next Wednesday you'll have a big day meeting basically Ole Miss Media Days down in Oxford. What else you got going on?
Yes. Well, we should have our interview we had with Chris Beard. We should have that out probably, if not today. We'll have that out tomorrow. And he had a lot of great things to say. It was really nice to get to visit with him and get his insight. And he gave us some comments on some of the players. And so that's cool. And absolutely, we got Juice Fest going on this weekend. Big recruiting weekend. Some of the top players, top targets are in Oxford this weekend. And so we will keep you posted. Leanne Herring will be on top of how Juice Fest is going, and I look for there to be maybe a couple of commitments this weekend.
So there is a literal party in the SIP this weekend, huh?
Yes. Yes, there is.
Evie, thank you so much. Have a wonderful Thursday. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll do it again next Thursday.
Thank you, my friend. Hotty.
That is Evie Van Pelt. Check her out at the Rebel Walk. Now, we got to take a quick time out, man. And I got to tell, I wanted to get some NFL news earlier, but I kind of had a little bit of one of those senior moments. Started thinking about my Nerfy. Don't want to know.
Which hit, by the way?
Yes! I don't know if you know this, but that just feels so good.
So good, John. First game of the day, you already got a winner. How about you start the day with up a couple units?
Dude, I love it. And I kind of unloaded on this one today, believe it or not.
Oh, we love it.
I love it when I unload all over the place.
Trusted me today.
Yes, I did. I did. Now, also got to say real quick because we got Hardwood, we got funny stories to get to. You know, Bryce Young is now going to be Frank Wright's already come out and said Bryce Young will be the starting quarterback.
Is that right?
Yes. Now, my question for you is, because I know you love this man, they're still saying that right now C.J. Stroud and Davis Mills are neck and neck in 7-on-7s. Nobody knows who's going to be the starter. What says Jay Morgan, who has a man crush on David Mills?
Well, I hope it's Davis Mills.
Oh, sorry, David, Billy.
David Culley was the coach with Davis Mills. No, I hope it's Stroud. I really hope it's Stroud because I think that's a valuable piece. I think people undervalue
backup quarterback.
Well, yes, but how much experience was gained from him getting his ass kicked every week, being the starting quarterback of that football team, and not injury prone either. He, to me, seems like a very valuable asset when his contract is up at the end of this year. So I hope it's C.J. Stroud so that a team like the Tennessee Titans maybe can get him on pennies on the dollar rather than giving Ryan Tannehill all that money going forward. So I hope it's Stroud for that reason.
Also, just giving you a little bit of favor live on there. People might have, kind of be similar to you. Who knows? I know you love Gardner Minshew.
The Gardy Party.
Have you
know,
read...
John, that the Eagles would have been just as successful last year if they had a Gardner Minshew starting the whole year? Actually, you know what? They might have won more games. How about that?
They might have won the Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes wouldn't be celebrating, maybe. Man, but I'll tell you, there's a great article that you might like if you like Gardner Minshew. It's The Wild Life of Gardner Minshew. Check it out. Pretty decent read.
The Gardy Party.
The Gardy Party. We're back in 2 shakes. We got some wood. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
This is Pre-Tection. Yep, Pre-Tection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Pre-barbecue. Pre-playground. Pre-everything. Pre-every day. Prevention is the best protection. This summer, make sure you have OFF, the #1 dermatologist-recommended repellent brand. SC Johnson, a family company.
There's only one place for great steaks, real Italian cuisine, Southern-style meats, and fresh vegetables. It's Fratello's. Fratello's Italian Steakhouse in Hernando has a family feel and a fantastic menu. Voted DeSoto's best new restaurant in 2022, Fratello's has your favorite cuts of prime steak, lamb, and pork, along with delicious Italian dishes. And nothing is better for lunch than Southern-style meats and veggies. All your favorites and more are waiting for you at Fratello's Italian Steakhouse, Highway 51 in Hernando.
The truly brilliant all-electric EQE SUV from Mercedes-Benz features some of the smartest tech ever to grace four wheels. With Dynamic Select, you can fine-tune hundreds of vehicle settings to precisely match your driving style and in available off-road mode. Transparent hood lets you see through sheet metal to steer clear of bumps and potholes directly beneath you. A 360-degree array of cameras and sensors constantly alert you for danger, while 64 color ambient lighting lets you fully customize the ambience inside the spacious cabin. The EQE SUV is so smart, even the headlamps are thinking. Optional digital light technology projects navigation markings and warnings onto the road ahead as you drive. The vehicle's all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Test drive the EQE SUV today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQE-SUV.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South T-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
At Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat, it's time to make this the summer sales event you've been hoping for. Take a power trip in 2023 Fiat 500X Pop 4-door all-wheel drive, $27,990 or $408 a month. Dominate in the beast. 2023 Dodge Charger XST 4-door, we Gossett at $30,990 or $458 a month. And rule the road in dependable power 2023 Ram 1500 Tradesman Quad Cab 4x2, $32,990 or $474 a month. And if we don't have it, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
75 months at 6.10 APR, 3,500 down, pop, BP 990492, MSRP 31,355, Charger PH 504,815, MSRP 35,630, Ram PS 55,4620, MSRP 40,460, includes all rebates and incentives, PS 695, excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month, dealer stock only.
4.9 liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find out.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan's hanging out with me today. Thanks to Evie Van Pelt on the other side. We talked all things Ole Miss. She's at the Rebel Walk. She's at Ole Miss Evie on Twitter or at the Rebel Walk. And you can go to therebelwalk.com for all your Ole Miss sports information. Thanks to Isaac Simpson. We talked all things Tigers. Maine. Penny's pulling it out of his hat again. You know what I'm saying? He's just doing mad things. Going out there and get a 40% three-point shooter, four threes a game. See you, Leonard Jr. We ain't worried about you no more. We got what we need. We got it. By the way, Walton is the 40% three-point shooter, and I can't remember his first name to save my life. But you know what? Not surprise her. It is about 12:35. Usually that's when the goodies kick in. Now, speaking of some goodies, I got something. It's more fun than saving money. Do you love saving money?
Yes.
Do you shop the way that Chas shops, where she goes and say she might spend $1,000, but she comes home and she goes, "You won't believe this. I saved you $1,000. How'd you save me $1,000? I got it 50% off." Like, I mean, hey, it's reasonable math, right? If that's how you do it, I got you covered right now, because everybody's gearing up for the school year, and you want your kids to have some style. So go down to Frontier Western Store. It's an unbeatable back-to-school sales and tax-free savings weekend. This is the perfect weekend to save big at Frontier Western Store. You know, Hey Dude. Have you ever heard of Hey Dude shoes? If you haven't, check them out. They're awesome, because right now they're $20 off, including the latest arrivals. Yes, you heard that right. Every single pair is $20 off. You looking for some other great deals on some shirts? Check out their men's and women's clearance section for an extra 25% off. But wait, there's more. Select Carhartt shirts are now less than half price, from small to 4X. They've got all the sizes available. Go check it out. You need to hurry. These extra discounts are valid only for this weekend. At Frontier Western Store, it's not just about the savings. It's about the experience. So don't miss out on these incredible deals and more. Tax-free weekend at Frontier Western Store, 5880 Gibbon Road down in Olive Branch, or shop online at frontierwesternstore.com. Let's go to Hardinwood.
This is Access Hardinwood.
Man, I don't like paying taxes. Neither does Hunter Biden. By the way, somehow his deal fell apart yesterday. Not good for that dude. And he also has to take drug tests. Worse that he didn't get his deal, or do you think he's freaking out that he can't do drugs anymore? Having a drug problem and having to take drug test. I don't know if you know. That's like a tough one. That's a tough road to hoe. You know what I'm saying? Whew. Now, speaking of tough, have you ever watched a matador? Do you know what a matador is?
No, John, what's a matador?
The dudes that do the red cape and they dance around in front of like a 1,200-pound bull, and then they try to get him to get like not get gored. Isn't that how it works? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's right.
I mean, I don't know how they score this. I think you score if you don't go to the hospital, right?
Sure.
Well, I mean, how many matadors do you know?
He's been in 10 bullfights and hasn't died yet. He's the best in the world.
This man's breaking records. I don't think you live long in the whole matador game, but there's this guy, a.k.a. Messi the Matador.
Ernest Hemingway loved the Matadors. Anyway, Messi the Matador.
Ernest Hemingway, great writer.
He
loved also
the
the Keys. Not Key Bumps, Key West.
Have you ever read or seen A Farewell to Arms?
No, I have not.
Where the man had his junk blown off in the war?
Dude, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing to lose.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would agree.
So, man, I feel so bad for that guy. Oh, complete sidebar.
He was a eunuch. Isn't that what a eunuch would be?
Yeah, he's basically full-on eunuch.
He's a eunuch.
And he's not like...
I hope I don't have the information incorrect, but I'm pretty sure that's what the character was in A Farewell to Arms. He was a eunuch. Yeah, I'm positive.
That's not a good thing. And by the way, we were talking about matadors, and I'm going to get back to this.
I'm saying I was an Ernest Hemingway discussion all of a sudden.
But all of a sudden, I got to tell you something horrible because you brought up a eunuch. So, I've gone to get a vasectomy twice. Every single time I go, only 2 times I've gone, I go in there, they tell me all the horrible things. The first time I thought I was going to be asleep. When they let me know I was going to be awake and everything, I was like, oh, no, bro, I'm out of here. I ain't watching that. I couldn't handle that. No. I don't care how many Valium you want to give me. No. Second time, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get myself prepared.
You should negotiate. Like, up the volume count, and you got yourself a deal. I'll do it.
Well,
I don't think it works that way.
Second time I went, I had it scheduled on Wednesday, right, the week of the NCAA tournament. So I was just going to sit in my chair with the ice pack and watch basketball for like 4 straight days while I healed. You know what I mean? So I had it planned out right. Then all of a sudden, I show up that morning, and guess what? I was scared to death.
Haven't you told me that part of it, too, is you're sitting in the waiting room and you see somebody walk out after getting one and how gingerly they're walking? And you're like, nah, man,
I can't
I'm
do
not
this.
doing all that.
So I'm like, I bounce. I'm like, I'm gone, man. This is A for me. Now, I left one day. I drove around for like 2 hours because I was so scared to go home because I knew how ticked off she was going to be that this is the second time I've said no to the vasectomy. Now, just so you know, I now know I never will get a vasectomy. So,
God bless you.
My buddy went and got a vasectomy yesterday. It went so south. What? So one, he is somehow like lidocaine doesn't work on him. So they shot him up with lidocaine.
That's the numbing agent, I'm
yes.
assuming?
And then he says all of a sudden they burn a hole and they grab some tubes and he can feel everything. And he's like, ah! So my man had to sit there while they did it. Like he's awake again and he's feeling this.
I thought it was going to be like the joke in Seinfeld, like they talk about Kramer going to get a vasectomy. He goes, it didn't work. I'm even more potent now. I thought that's what you were going to say.
No. Now it's even worse. So my man is in there like doing his things, and all of a sudden he says he hears, uh-oh. And again, he's in pain. Uh-oh. Somehow he had a hematoma in his testicle. And he says it's the worst pain in the world. And I'm just going to tell you guys out there right now, like, I ain't doing it. I don't know how I got on the topic of vasectomy.
That, John, is the most disgusting. Did they finish it?
Oh, yeah, they had to finish it, but right now he can't. He's going to be off for the next, they say this is going to keep him down for 3 to 4 weeks. He's not going to be, he ain't moving. He's swollen, bro. It's not good. So, again, I won't be getting a vasectomy. Back to the Matador.
All to avoid the miracle of life.
The things you go to not be an old man with a kid. Now, back to this messy of the Matador.
You know, Abraham lived to be 800. He had kids well into his 700s or something like that.
Like, dude, I couldn't handle that, man. Like,
well, you couldn't handle having kids into your 700s?
I just couldn't do it.
Or living to be 700. You couldn't do that either.
Couldn't do that either.
Yeah.
Too much crap in our food. You know what I'm saying? Pesticides are killing us all. Now, back to the messy of Matador. You keep getting me off topic. So this guy, we've been talking about this Lionel Messi guy, right? Am I saying his name right? Lionel?
Yeah.
Or Lionel?
Yeah, well, either one, whatever.
Lionel or Lionel? Anyway, Lionel Messi is the great soccer player. Well, they called this dude the Messi of Matadors. So he was really good, okay? Until yesterday, you know what happened to him? He's out there playing a game with the bull, doing his little red cape, when the bull comes charging by, and guess what? It clips his leg. So my man gets picked up by like an 1,200 pound bull, drug all over the place, and then the bull throws him 20 feet in the air and then headbutts him like he's scoring a soccer goal and headbutts him into the wood.
That sounds about like a bull.
Bro, what in the hell are you doing? You got to be better than that, man. You got to move your little skirt or whatever you're doing out there. My man, somehow, though, this is crazy. He only broke some ribs, a little bit of his face. He's got a bad leg wound, and he got his big gash. But aside from that, they say he's going to be okay.
Merely a flesh wound, John.
Shoot, man, you break my leg, you break my ribs, and you break a bone in my face. I ain't ever getting in front of a bullet.
John, we have to get to a break, but I have one story I want to get to today before the end of the day. Rare sports story.
Hold on, I only got to one story?
Yeah, it's 12:45.
All right.
Save the rest for tomorrow.
I had a great fight story.
Save that. I don't know if that would have worked on the radio.
Cocaine sharks.
See, we talked about that already.
I know.
How about this, John? At Minnesota, there was a story published by Front Office Sports that there is a toxic culture at Minnesota under PJ Fleck. A bunch of former players they interviewed citing the multiple brought up unprompted the word cult.
Dude, there's something wrong with the Big Ten. Go back to freaking Joe Pa and Sandusky. Go to Michigan State and look at Anderson. Now look at my man at Northwestern. And now it's at Minnesota with PJ Fleck.
So apparently there was a member on the board of trustees that wanted to look into this for a long time, and they was told repeatedly, we're not looking into it. Everything is above board. After this Northwestern stuff happened, he was like, we need to look back into all these sorts of things. And PJ Fleck has come out very recently and said the accusations are baseless. And not all the players. They did mention one former player they talked to that basically acknowledged how difficult it was, but looked at it more through the prism of adversity, saying it's not for everybody. It's a hard place to play. Not everyone would fit into this culture. He demands a lot. One of the things is he comes up to you, asks you how you're doing. You have to say, I'm elite. If you say you're good or I'm doing well, you have to say I'm elite. Or it would be he would use workouts as punishments for regular things, or you could get by with failing drug tests if you had built up enough Fleck points or something like that.
So you could smoke the reefer as long as you had Fleck points.
Yeah, Fleck. It's crazy. You need to read the story, but
I'm going to tell you
it's
something.
wild
I
stuff.
think that's the kind of program I'd like to be a part of.
Well, the story was more scathing than glowing, I would say.
Well, I'm telling you one thing. I'm getting Fleck points because I can say every time you say, what do I say? What do you say? Hey, what's up?
I'm elite.
I'm elite.
How you doing? I'm elite.
I'm elite. We got bets on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Attention, everyone. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory. Let me say that again. Family Leisure is needing your help to clear out their inventory. And to do so, there are tons of great deals throughout the store. For example, all do-it-yourself pools are $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pools for less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Hey, if you need patio furniture, they have patio furniture that's now up to 30% off. Spas are in stock. They're up to $1,200 off. Now listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. 24 months, same as cash financing, is now available through this sale. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory, so come and do your part at Family Leisure. Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on eating out, fuel costs, and replacing expensive grills that cannot stand up to the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. I'm often called Shell Done because I sell homes and work with buyers and I get the job done. There are 7 keys to successfully selling your home quickly at a great price. First, call me. I do my research and advise you on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing that gets you the activity to get the best price. Follow my advice and it can happen. I did mention 7 keys to a successful sale, didn't I? Well, if you use the first key, calling or emailing me, you really don't need the next 6 keys. Remember, that's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. If you don't need me now, write it down for later or for a friend at Sheldon at 483-0546 at MemphisRelocate.com. Do it now, and who knows, you may hear your home advertised here. Remember, as bad a golfer as I am, when selling homes, Shell Dunn gets it done.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Summer's here, and Gossett Kia on the Pike has the hottest deals you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Hit the highway with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $259 a month, $27.99 due at signing. 2023 Sportage LX 308 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 2023 World Performance Car 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. EPA estimated range 310 miles, $499 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month leases plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 641,916, MSRP 21,910. Sportage P 718,270, MSRP 28,185. EV6 P 510, 5073, MSRP 49,965. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties. A limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, hanging out with Jay Morgan. It is a it's a Thirsty Thursday. Damn, I almost thought it was Friday. You know why, Jay? Because I came back from the other side of the glass so excited after telling you that funny story. It was a great story. But this is even better because if you maybe at your crib and you're thinking to yourself, maybe I need a new crib. Maybe I need to fix my countertops. Maybe I need some stone to build a little garden. Let me tell you something. Go to Barden Stone, 1557 Cherry Road. They know stone. They got natural stone. They got marble. They got granite. They got all the countertops. They got everything for your landscaping, field stone. You name it, they have it. Just head on over to 1557 Cherry Road. Ask them some questions. Find your stone. Bing, bang, boom. Make your crib look absolutely beautiful. That is Barden Stone. You can also go to bardenstone.com. Jay Morgan, we got to get to some bets, bro.
Okay.
We got a little day baseball. We have two games in the day.
Well, we have one game.
Well, we have the Angels and the Tigers, and then again we have the Angels and the Tigers.
We have one game that takes place twice.
It's called a doubleheader.
Doubleheader. It's a great day for a ball game. Let's play two.
Now,
right.
hey, we've already won our Nerfy. I was looking. I'm not touching the second game of the Angels and the Tigers unless you are.
I love it.
You do? What's your favorite one?
I like it better than the first one, quite frankly.
Ooh, who are you going with, Sandoval or Manning?
My favorite play in this one is a bit pricey, but it's the Tigers' first 5 team total under 2.5 runs. Patrick Sandoval has a 1.46 ERA in July. Now, he had a 7.11 in June, which is really high, but it seems to me that he's solid against poor hitting and bad against teams that knock the ball around a little bit. So I like the Tigers' first 5 team total under 2.5. I also like the first 5 under 4.5 runs. Matt Manning is going for the Tigers. He has a 2.33 ERA in July. He's solid enough, and he's better at home than he is on the road. Kind of a tough gauge because he doesn't have a ton of starts. I'm going to say 1 or 2 runs is what I'm guessing. That's a small sample size. So how about the under 4.5? Another no-run first inning. And if you can still find it for plus money somewhere, go ahead and sprinkle a little bit on the Tigers' first 5 money line. I just think it's too much of a 50-50 shot. With all these other bets we got going, might as well worth a shot.
But just put a little sprinkle, magic on that bad boy and see what grows. Speaking of a good matchup, I love the Cubs today, plus 105. How come they're dogs in St. Louis? Miles Michaelis is pitching. Bum. You know the man of Steel's pitching for Chicago today?
That's right, Justin Steele. He's got a 5.40 ERA in July, John.
Well, he's got a 2.95 ERA on the season. He's 10-3. He don't like to lose. And Miles Michaelis' mustache is ridiculous. Doesn't that just make you want to also go for the Cubs?
I like the Cardinals' first 5 team total under 2.5 today. I like the Cubs on the first 5 money line. I like the Cubs team total over 2.5, and I like the first 5 over 5 runs in that one.
All right, you got a good pitching matchup actually today in New York City Field. You got the Nationals and the Mets. Are you with Gray or Kodai Senga?
Neither. I just like the under in that one today. I'm going to take the first 5 under and the game under. First 5 under, I can get it plus money. The game under, I'm not as confident about, but it seems like a good hedge, and it's 9 runs, so I'll take it.
Man, I can't believe the Mets are minus 240. That's a fat line. I know the Nationals are trash.
You have to be out in 25 seconds, so don't look at the time.
Do me a favor, people. Whatever you do, enjoy your Thirsty Thursday. I hope you had fun listening to Evie Van Pelt, Isaac Simpson, and, of course, Jay Morgan. Y'all get out there, make this world a better place. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace!